Hi guys, so I'm 5 weeks postpartum today. Holly was born on the 29th of the 11th 11, and I thought I'd come on and do a quick update. Basically, we were in hospital for 48 hours, we were discharged, we came home, and Chris was off work for 2 weeks. The first and second week, she was pretty much like my firstborn. Difficult to settle, feeding frequently, 2 to 3 hourly, breastfeeding going just wonderfully, just like Zoe did. And what else? Pooing and peeing, just, crazy amounts, and just thriving. But sleeping and settling just the same as my first. She's just not one of those newborns that just lay down and sleep all the day and you wake them for feeds. She's just sort of high maintenance, you'd say. So that was, I was sort of expecting that. I was hoping that she might be a bit more laid back, but I was pretty much expecting that. So I was happy to get out of the hospital, come home. Zoe has been amazing, kisses and cuddles and no jealousy whatsoever, sort of taking on Holly like she's her own, and hasn't done anything really jealous or gone to hit her or anything. She's just full of questions and so excited when it's time to change a nappy. I'll get the nappy, mummy, and I'll get the wipes, and it's just been a little wonder, a little help. So far that's been great. The third week she started to get sick. She had huge temperatures and we were in hospital for 5 days, and she got an enteroviral infection, which is really rare, but can be life-threatening, and it just was really bad luck. And I did another video about that whole story. Just look out for that. And so we're in hospital for 5 days. We came out, and then this last week it's just been her on the mend. When she came home from hospital, she was screaming a lot. She was really unsettled, and I just thought the experience of all those tests in hospital have really scarred her. Since then, she's chilled out a lot more. She's can nap throughout the day on and off, and then some days she'll have like a 2 or 3 hour nap solid. So there's no consistency. And she hasn't really had any pain with like wind or anything like that. She's pooing and weeing like great, and she's thriving. She's putting on so much weight. She was 5.3 kilos today, and she was born at 3.1. Yeah. So 2 and a bit kilos already in 5 weeks, which is like a huge gain, which was just like Zoe. Huge gains as young babies. She's feeding 3 to 4 hourly. No, 2 to 3 hourly. And at night time it tends to be more frequent. It doesn't appear like she's cluster feeding. She's having good, like both boobs, good gulping and everything like that. But she just seems to want to feed more at night. I'm just putting it down to her being a bit hotter because it's summer here. And a growth spurt that will hopefully fizzle out soon. But for the last week, it's been 2 to 3 hourly in the day and still 2 to 3 hourly in the night. So I'm not getting much sleep at all. Pardon me. What else? She's napping in her swing during the day and sometimes falls asleep in the bouncer, which is better than Zoe was, because she would never do that. She just likes to be in your arms all the time. And I know that from past experience at sleep school, they said from around 10 weeks they're really smart and they can start to self-settle themselves. So you can train them to like put them down, let them fall asleep on their own. But before that, young babies find it very hard to settle themselves. So it's okay to rock them to sleep, and I mean you try not to, but you're not like sort of going to ruin them by doing that. So hopefully the next 5 weeks will go fast and she can start to self-settle herself, because it's a lot carrying around a baby, waiting till they fall asleep, put them down, then they suddenly wake up again. That's just all the time. So good and bad days. And I really haven't had the experience of having the 2 girls on my own for a long period just yet. Only a day or two, because my husband was off for 2 weeks. Then I was in the hospital with Holly for 1 week. Then he was off 1 week for Christmas and a week and a bit, and he's just gone back to work today for the week. So, and Zoe has gone to her nana's for the day. So I'm just here with the baby. So I've had it good so far. I've had a good break with both of them. And yeah, it's just going to be more and more full on, I guess, looking after the 2 of them at home. What else? And with me, I'm doing good. Apart from the sleeping, I'm pretty much back to normal, I'd say. The only thing is the heartburn that I had severe in pregnancy is still a bit there. Not enough to take medication, but it's still just hanging around, which usually would go straight away, most people would say. And also the sciatica I had late in pregnancy is still hanging around. So I must be secreting a lot of prolactin and other hormones that are just keeping these symptoms hanging about. But I'm going to bring that up with my obstetrician when I go for my follow-up appointment soon. What else? My hair hasn't started to fall out at all as yet. I'm still bleeding. For the last 2 weeks, I'm thinking it's going, and then suddenly it'll come back again, you know, with gusto. So it's just stopped starting, and someone told me, one of the nurses, that with your second baby it's more likely to start. I'm not sure the reason, I forget. But it's really annoying because you just think you're right, and then, you know, it's just something that you want to put behind you. I did have a couple of stitches. They fell out a couple of weeks ago. I got mastitis when Holly was in hospital sick, and I was on antibiotics. But it came on very quickly, like within 12 hours. I had red lines all over my breasts, and it was just, the pain was excruciating. I had temperature and everything. But as soon as I pumped it all out and took my antibiotics, it went just as quick. So within a couple of days it was gone. So I was lucky. And my supply's really good as far as I know. I'm not into pumping like some people and storing. I don't really care about doing that. If I want to go out on my own and leave a bottle, which wouldn't do till maybe I go back to work at 4 months or something. What I did was she just had either formula for 1 day a week, or whatever I pumped at work, she would have, you know, I could freeze it and she'd have the next week or whatever. But I'd never pump enough for her to be full for a whole day when I'd be at work. So yeah, she'd have formula for a day, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just don't, you know, I just don't want to increase my supply, so I've got to pump all the time, and you know, it's a lot of work doing that and cleaning all the things and tracking it, and it's just unnecessary for me, I think. And my weight, well, I'm down to 4 kilos under my 4 kilos under my pre-pregnancy weight, because that's just what happens with me. I just get the morning sickness, and then throughout the pregnancy somehow when I have the baby, I just lose a lot of weight. So my goal is to keep it off, keep up the breastfeeding and eating healthy, and hopefully lose a good amount of weight. Because last time I just ate anything I wanted to. I kept losing weight, but just little bits. And then as soon as I stopped breastfeeding, I put on like 5 kilos straight away, really quickly. So I just want to watch that and lose a bit. So I'll show you what my tummy looks like. There's my awfully big breasts, but you can't help that. And that is my postpartum tummy, which is, you know, more me than any sort of uterus sticking out there, but I'm happy with that for now. Obviously it's really stodgy and wobbly and not toned, but it never was, so it doesn't really bother me.